have to exercise to train their pilots. I can tell you that this was very common in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. There seemed to be a drop-off around the 90s, and then sort of an uptick in the tempo of their exercises in these past few years. I think they sort of tend to do this on somewhat of a predictable schedule, but again, NORAD is ready and prepared to respond whenever some of these incidents could occur.
Kucharik also said the Russian plane didn't seem like it was there to provoke anything, but he reiterated NORAD has jets across North America ready to respond if necessary. Eric Margulies is a writer on foreign affairs and defense matters. He also believes the Russian bomber was not there to provoke, and he doesn't think the timing of it had anything to do with President Barack Obama's visit, but he does think Russia is trying to send a message.
Putin has said that Russia is going to resume a more, not aggressive, but more forceful stance in asserting its great power rights. They've also started air flights over the Mediterranean that had been stopped. But the most important thing is that Putin has said that Russia is going to militarily enforce its claims to the Arctic by increasing its military presence. And it's also a response to increased American military action around Russia's peripheries. Remember, American forces are operating in the Black Sea, in the Caucasus, and in the Baltic, and now in Central Asia. This is Russia's response. And Russia is saying, listen, we're back, we're off our knees, can't take us for granted, and you've got to treat us as an equal and don't push us. That's the message coming from Moscow.
Margulies says Canada should be concerned that Russia is becoming more active in the high Arctic. He says it means Ottawa needs to become more forceful itself in defending our Arctic sovereignty. To other news, and a symposium in Ottawa on keeping seniors sharp behind the wheel. Refresher courses are just one of the suggestions in something called the Older Driver Blueprint Project. It's driven by studies that show driving-related accidents are the leading cause of accidental death for Canadians aged 65 to 74. Joining us from Ottawa to talk more about the find, Claudia Von Zweck. She's Executive Director of the Canadian Association of Occupational Therapists, which spearheaded the project. So, Claudia, you've looked at the challenges elderly drivers face behind the wheel. Some come to mind for me, cognitive and physical. What did you identify?
Well, when we were undertaking this, the development of this strategy, we were really looking at how we can really promote people's ability, their fitness to drive for as long as possible. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to identify what are the issues that people experience, and then we also wanted to know what kind of interventions that we could provide to help them to drive for safely as long as possible. So we conducted focus groups with older adults from across Canada, and we talked to them about what they see are issues for them. They certainly see that as they age, their response time slows, that they're not as confident on the road. They need to spend more time in out their route before they start. And a lot of these things are also backed up by the scientific literature. We undertook a review of all the scientific literature to look at what the impact of significant medical events and aging are on driving ability. And we do see things such as that older adults do have reduced reaction time. They also may not, when they're driving, they may narrow their scope of their vision. They may be looking and not necessarily using their peripheral vision to see the whole scope of their vision to be able to drive defensively and safely.
Okay, so I just want to stop you there. You've outlined some of the known physical and awareness limitations. Let's look now at some of the solutions. There is, of course, this idea of refresher courses. What kind of refresher courses are we talking about, and why is this so important?
Well, it's very important, first of all, because older adults, what they told us very clearly is that driving is very helpful, is essential for them in order to get out and do the things that they need to do in their daily life. Mm-hmm. And so they really want to look at ways that they can get involved and that they can retain their driving skills for as long as possible. So the types of things that have been shown to be effective in the scientific literature future for refresher training or things such as